And thank you to the new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. If you are tuning in, we have this. It almost feels like a vibe that I haven't felt in quite some time with what was approved by a judge here today in regards to what the U.S. government can sell worth of Bitcoin, something that was confiscated back around 2019. And now Bitcoin has got the authority and the approval to sell 3,940 Bitcoin. This is the United States government, and it's been uploaded already, or at least they're sending it to Coinbase. So that's something that's going on here, so we have to pay very close attention. If you could do me the very huge favor of hitting that like button so that YouTube recommends this update, I would greatly appreciate it. My earlier update today did not do so well in the like department, and it got around about 900 people, but it did not garner the likes that it deserved, so it kind of got stuck and it didn't get recommended by YouTube. So I would greatly appreciate if you show the appreciation for my time that I put in, and it would greatly help me pass my content on this beautiful platform with each and every one of you, because I think we have an audience that deserves to be heard, but it can only be heard if you express your voice by hitting that like button. JW, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I really appreciate that. Lee says, Tom, Bank of England slips up on using XRP. It's all falling into place for our voting next week, UK. It sure is. It sure is, Lee. Sean Crothers, welcome in, my main man from Maine. Hopefully you're having a blessed evening so far. It is a prison in a sense, my friend. Vincent Ortega, Hamza, Mark Caston, and Josie Wales, Josie Wales. Thank you, all four of you, for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. That means a hell of a lot to me. It really does. Rob Holkaluk and Moza here, welcome in, and thank you both for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Joshy, welcome in. Hope you're having a great day, my friend. We have a doozy here, ladies and gentlemen. We have a doozy. I don't know how many of you have heard about the news with the government, but we'll get into that almost right off the bat. We'll get into the XRP price analysis along with Bitcoin, as we've had a stumble here in this morning's update. For anybody who was in there, we talked about everything looked pretty bearish, and XRP looked like it was going to come back down to 46.4 cents on a rejection at 476, which we got at 474. We came pretty close. We came to 466 area, but we'll see how much farther downside pressure we could see here in the immediate short term. So I'm going to hit that. I'm going to do the intro very quickly. We're going to go into what's happening with the U.S. government, and then after we get some of our talking here, we will get into the charts. So please hit that like button so YouTube recommends this live. It would be greatly appreciated. That's the best way I can put it. John Patak, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge, and positivity indeed. CJ, positivity over negativity is what we always say around here. CJ2 Pilot, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Tanya, welcome in, love, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. John Page, welcome in, good morning to you, friend. Jorge, good evening. Lonzo, good evening, my friend. I'm glad to see you in here as well. So, good evening. 6:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, June 26th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I do thank everybody for tuning in on this evening. I feel rather blessed to have the audience we have of over 22,100 subscribers. And it means the world to me to see each and every one of you show up and show out here. Not just every day, but even in the times of uncertainty. This is something that should garner everybody's attention right now, because this is not a drill. This is not hearsay. This isn't something to put in some fear. And this isn't a way to get you to sell or run away from crypto. This is simply to show everybody what is starting to emerge here. And would it surprise anybody that this gets approved and right before all this comes to light, Bitcoin has a rally. Now, is it possible that Bitcoin went up to 72,000 and then they sold these off and then it made that dump to 58? We'll never know. We'll never know exactly when it gets uploaded, if it has, if it hasn't, or how it does, because we'll never know the true story. So let's get into some of what we're seeing in the actual news. So U.S. government sends 3,940 Bitcoin to Coinbase exchange. Data from Arkham Intelligence indicates that Bitcoin was seized from Bad Meat Seen, a convicted drug dealer during his 2024 trial. I think this was back in 2019. The United States government sent 3,940 Bitcoin to a Coinbase Prime wallet on June 26, 2024, on-chain data from Arkham Intelligence revealed. According to Arkham Intelligence, the transaction took place at 1741 UTC and involved Bitcoin, seized from convicted drug trafficker Bamit Singh earlier this year. In 2019, Singh was arrested by British authorities in London on drug distribution charges and eventually extradited to the United States in 2023. The United States Department of Justice claimed that from 2012 to 17, Singh ran a narcotics smuggling network that included distributors in Maryland, New York, North Dakota, Washington State, Ohio, North Carolina, and Florida. As part of the judgment against him, Singh was forced to surrender more than 8,100 Bitcoin to U.S. authorities, valued at around $150 million at the time, in what the United States Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA, characterized as the largest cryptocurrency seizure ever performed by the three-letter agency. Singh was also sentenced to 5 years in prison in April 2024, but was given credit for time served and has reportedly been released by U.S. authorities. According to Columbus Dispatch, Singh made plans to return to native home of India directly following the release. So, widespread fears of government sell-off. Fears of government sell-offs impacting the Bitcoin market have gripped market participants in recent weeks after reports that the German government was unloading its Bitcoin, worth roughly $2.76 billion at the time of this writing. How many have heard this? Out of curiosity, how many of you are following this? Not even sure if anybody's watching. 69 people are watching, so how many of you think that they're getting ready to sell this? Just out of curiosity. And if you are watching and you think they're going to sell it, hit that like button. 45 likes, 69 viewers so far. Hit that like button. Let me know. I know, Tanya, you're the one who let me know. Tanya is the one who shared this with me earlier, and it got me to look into it much sooner than I would have. So, John, Jorge, Tanya, Hamza all said they do. Can you show us the XRP Bitcoin 12-hour chart? I saw it breaking out. We'll take a look at that when we get into it. We'll definitely take a look at the XRP Bitcoin chart, and I'll look at it in the, well, you're not going to see it in the 12-hourly. You'll see it in the daily. 4-hourly or daily. But we'll be able to see what it's doing based on both of those. The most recent of these transactions occurred on June 26, 2024. Man, once you start yawning, it just keeps coming on. 9/27/57 UTC, and featured an output of 345 Bitcoin sent to a wallet labeled Flow Traders. The United States government also holds large quantities of Bitcoin acquired through seizures and asset forfeiture. Data from Arkham shows that the U.S. government currently owns around roughly 214,000 Bitcoin, valued at $13 billion at the time of this writing. Making the U.S. government the largest state holder of the decentralized currency in the Arkham Intel database. Selling pressure from Mt. Gox bankruptcy estate has also stoked investor fear of a Bitcoin price decline. As the former exchange begins the process of... now I must be yawning because all you are yawning. I start doing this and all of a sudden I start yawning. You know, unloading 140,000 Bitcoin to reimburse injured parties of the infamous 2014 Mt. Gox collapse. However, exchange balances are already at 6-year lows, acting as a price stabilizing counterbalance to these selling pressures. So that is one of the articles pointing at what's going on. I mean, you can see it all over. Bitcoin wobbles at 61K as U.S. government sends 4,000 Bitcoin to Coinbase. U.S. government moves nearly 4,000 Bitcoin worth 240 million to exchange. So this is one of the newest ones, one of the newer articles. So we can always see if there's any new information, which I doubt there is. But yeah, that's what's going on. We'll read more about this in a little bit. We'll talk more about this, but I would like to get into the charts because we're at a very, very, very big moment here. For the XRP Bitcoin pairing, as I was asked to look at, just in the short term, we can see a bull flags formed here. We can clearly see that we have to break out of the short-term consolidation and break past that 777 area, and then we could have a fresh run. We really, really could. We could have a fresh run here, and we could push out. And I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen right now, but at some point when we start pushing back up, we're going to push to the top of this consolidation, and it's well over that 1,300 sat level. If we look at it in the daily time frame, it definitely has the ability to push out. It definitely has the ability to push out. It's just we have to see what ends up happening here. If Bitcoin dumps like that, and let's say Bitcoin does have a overzealous sell-off, and XRP, even if it sells off, it's not already done. No, oh, it's not even as big of a sell-off. You could very well end up having a nice run up in the XRP Bitcoin pairing. Yeah, I can't stop yawning now. I haven't yawned all day, Julian. Then I start my live and I can't stop yawning. But it's actually a very exciting day with what's going on with Bitcoin. And as we can see, the Bitcoin price after all this becomes announced, it's down 981 points or 1.59% to 60,824. So there's a lot of reasons to be very interested about this price action. Yesterday when we did our live, we talked about if Bitcoin came down, it would have to hold this area at 60,485 because it could act as some kind of neckline. But with what's happening right now, I hope we get a big sell-off here. And because it'll put us in a position here to, again, to find a long position here when it comes to a quick, when it gets to a quick double bottom, we would be able to have some kind of probably copy trade here. That's what I like to copy trade more with the group with a larger token like Bitcoin because it gives more opportunity, because XRP moves so volatilely that it makes it a little tough, so you have to use more stop losses. But I found a lot of opportunity when doing this by trading Bitcoin, especially when it becomes oversold and it becomes there's a lot that goes into the reasonings why. But like in the daily time frame for Bitcoin, it's pretty interesting because although we did come way down, it did look like we were attempting a reversal candle. But now where we see we're having a very porous close here. Got about an hour and 10 minutes. And Bitcoin is at the bottom of this daily candle. 60,741, and we're barely over 60,840. And we had pushed up all the way to 62,469. This is a bearish push here. Bearish push here. And with what's going on, who gets the money? Well, Tanya, I'm glad you asked. That is a question that I can't even answer. Otherwise, I might get in trouble. But all I can say is those beautiful politicians that everybody thinks is doing a good job, it goes into their pockets to push agendas. You didn't hear it from me. The central banks make the decisions, not the politicians. But that's not for me to say. So anyhow, Bitcoin, we see what's happening. It had this big breakdown. We have back tested the pennant flag right now. But now Bitcoin, despite coming all the way up, now it's got the opportunity here to actually break down, even though it was showing a big reversal here. Now it's almost as if a catalyst came into play and it completely switched the way people are thinking. Now we are oversold in the daily. For hourly though, I would like to see it catch up and I'd like to see a bigger push down. Maybe even retest that 58, or maybe, what if we did something like this? What if we did something like this? And I really could see this happening. We come down, we come through, and then we bounce out. What if we do come down to 56, 57 area, 56.8? Maybe it is just a slight in between, I could see this. It looks like it needs to come down here, though, to make, if it's going to double bottom, make it. And in the 4 hourly, we would become extremely oversold 3 hourly would become extremely oversold, the 2 hourly, the 45, the 1 hourly, the 30. Everything would become extremely oversold, and it would be another advantageous buy moment. And then if it did come through, let's say we did open it here at 58K. Then it comes down. By the time it gets down to about 55.8, that's where you'd be like, now if it comes up here and gets a rejection, now you'd have to consider selling it. Now, what I would do is, because I know where it's going to be in the oversold predicament by the time it comes here, I wouldn't be looking at a stop loss. I would just be looking to add a little bit more here if it's down 20%, you know, in a 10x trade, add 20% more, and yada, yada, yada. And then if I have to, I could let go on the retest. But at some point here, I hope it does drop the hammer here in the next few hours, next day or so, because this would be a better than 5.5% drop, 3,517 points, and I'm almost tempted to go short here. It's just, the daily makes me a little uncomfortable, but at the same time, you know, I feel like there's going to be some downward pressure. I almost want to see this come all the way back down here and bounce. Down here at 59.7, see how it reacts, but I think where I circled it, it needs to come down into that area. That's what I think it could be trying to play here. Now, obviously, there is a double bottom potential here, even if it wants to try to do it in a weird way, around that 60,600 mark or 540 where I lined across, but it's not a true bottom. So I'm going to be interested to see how this plays out. It broke into a bearish fashion in the 3 and 4 hourly. When we talked yesterday in the live, we talked about how it looked bearish for XRP and Bitcoin. And now, unfortunately, it's fallen bearish a little bit here. But that's what I'm looking at here for Bitcoin. It looks like it needs to drop back into that range, and I would not be opposed to it. It looks like it could be for our best interest. And that's just not because I want it to go down. It's just that's what it looks like it wants to do. XRP, on the other hand, can it fight against Bitcoin? Can XRP fight against Bitcoin? And right now it looks like a long leg doji, perfect reversal. If it comes up here to 473 and pulls back down, it's just going to end up being a gravestone doji. I know it doesn't look like it yet, but imagine it going up by about 0.3 cents, and then it stretches it up to the top here and then pulls back down. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen here. It seems like we're on a bearish proposition here. It does tease the appearance of a reversal in the 4 hourly. Daily's given away, and we're not going to look seemingly to get back above 474. So we're going to have our first daily close underneath this pattern support, which is technically a bearish signal. We also have come back into the daily. RSI broke bearish in the last day or so. Weekly time frame, we've never pushed back bullish. 4 hourly, we're attempting a reversal. But what comes? Can we continue pushing up, or does it pull back down? 3 hourly, we teased a reversal, and now again, it's very unstable here. 1 hourly, no pressure. Even on this little pushback up, hourly volume is decreasing, which is a bearish sign. So it's looking like it's not looking good right now. Now, opportunity is always out there. You got to seek out the opportunity. So what I'm going to be watching for is an overzealous sell-off. I'll be looking for an overzealous sell-off, and I've got some funds to the side to do a couple different things, so that's what I'm going to do. If you'd like to join me in the ways that I trade, I encourage you. In the video description below and our pinned comments, you've got HOTCOIN if you want to join HOTCOIN, that's where I copy trade, or on an exchange that has many different ecosystems and a lot of different tokens. And also BITUNIX if you would like. You can look there as well. HOTCOIN has a promotion right now as well that it's in my best interest to talk about because it ends June 30th. If you deposit $100 in USD and trade one time, you get a futures trading voucher of $10. If you do $500 in futures trade 20,000, you get $50. If you do $1,000 and you futures trade 50,000, you get a $100 trading voucher for the futures. And if you trade 5,000, or if you deposit 5,000 and do $200,000 in futures trading, you get $500. So that's a promotion going on right now on HOTCOIN. And then on BITUNIX, if you are on there as well, BITUNIX has a promotion right now. And I'll just pull it up for everybody to see. Well, I don't know why it's not showing up the way I want it, but there is a promotion going on here. And I'll just pull it up and tell you, because I'm not sure why it's not showing it, but it should have. But you might as well take advantage of it if you're on these exchanges. But that's where I'm trading right now, for real. But anyhow, there's a lot of politics going on here with what they're talking about with Bitcoin. It's that simple. If Bitcoin does, and it's already put it on the exchange, if 3,940 Bitcoin actually gets sold, it's going to be an issue. And on BITUNIX, if you deposit $100 in USDT and trade the futures one time, you get 20 XRP for free. So if you deposit $100 and you do one futures trade of any kind on BITUNIX, if you click on my link in the video description below, you get 20 free XRP on the first futures trade. So take advantage of those promotions. They only last for like a week or two at a time, but I do see quite often that they do give promotions out. So I'll try to keep everybody updated on those, as well as myself, because I can also take advantage as well. Let's see. So yeah, with XRP, the biggest thing here right now is we did come under a major support. And now the problem is here, it's not just going to bring us right down to 42.1 cents or 42.4. I don't want you to think we have to come to the cup and handle support already. What it does mean, though, is if we were to get rejected here and break down, 46.4 cents is in our future. But can't we just say it came within, 0.2 of a penny, as it came down to 46.58 area instead of 464? So didn't we technically maybe come down there? That's speculative. But we came down here at least where we did back here as well before we had the bigger drop. So there's a lot to be watching here. There's a lot of optics here. And me personally, I am going to watch this very hopeful to find that next opportunity, because it's here. And I know for XRP, it's under 2 for $1. You can buy by way of the XRP Bitcoin pairing, as it's so undervalued. And you can expand your holdings. I showed a demonstration yesterday, twice. So it's available in the USA through HOTCOIN, and that's the main reason why I started trading on there. And now some of you have chosen to copy trade with me, so that's also another benefit I wasn't expecting. So that's what's going on here. We're stuck at a standstill. The bottom line is we are stuck at a standstill, ladies and gentlemen, with what's going on with Bitcoin. We don't know. We don't know what impact this is going to have on the market. We can assume, but on top of that, and I didn't want to hit everybody with so much stuff in the title, but we also have 9.25 billion in Bitcoin options expiring. That's at the end of the week. So what do we think is going to happen here? Not only is 3,940 Bitcoin being sent to Coinbase exchange, we also have 9.25 billion in Bitcoin options expiring. So will Bitcoin bulls or bears benefit from this week's 9.25 billion Bitcoin options expiry? Has anybody heard about this? I told you it was going to be a doozy at the beginning, and it's just starting this journey. We're only 23 minutes into our journey together here this evening. So we've got plenty, and I mean plenty of time to talk. And man, oh man, am I excited here this evening to talk to everybody. Mo says XRP sell-off July 1st. It's possible. I mean, we have 1 billion coming out of escrow too on that date. So, but yeah, I'm not surprised. But it's the timing, remember. It's the timing of all of this stuff. So will Bitcoin bulls or bears benefit from this week's 9.25 billion Bitcoin options expiry? A total of 9.25 billion in Bitcoin options is set to expire on the morning of June 28th. June's monthly expiry is especially important given that it marks the end of the first half of 2024 and historically is the second largest expiry in every market, including the traditional finance industry. Investors are especially concerned after the $3 trillion tech giant Nvidia traded down 12% since all-time highs on June 20th. Recent pressure on Bitcoin gave bears a potential 430 million advantage. It has been 2 months since the Bitcoin halving, which likely explains why 57% of the bullish bets have been placed at 70,000 or higher. But in reality, the market displayed weakness in the past 2 weeks, making those call buy options essentially worthless. If Bitcoin remains near 61,500 on June 28th at 8 a.m. UTC, the rights to buy Bitcoin at 62,000 and 64,000 will not take part in the expiry. Similarly, put sell options at 58 and 60,000 are rendered null. And put options are short options. Call options are you plan on it going up. So it'd be like going long on a futures contract in crypto. So will not take part. So Bitcoin bulls have macroeconomic data on their side, which favors a more aggressive rate cut and monetary stimulus campaigns from the United States Federal Reserve and Department of Treasury. Sales of the new U.S. single-family homes dropped to a 6-month low in May, down 11.3% from the prior year. More concerning, at the current sales pace, it would take 9.3 months to clear the new houses supply, up from 8.1 months in April. In June 2024, or June 24th, a June 24th Charles Schwab report noted that the current finance dynamics mirror 2021, potentially signaling a bear market on the way. Reasons for the alarm include a growing divergence between S&P 500 and equally weighted indexes, with artificial intelligence stocks leading the way. The analyst concludes that there's no imminent risk for the bull market, but advised that more members will need to start joining the party for the music to stay on. Currently, Deribit is the absolute market leader for the June Bitcoin options, totaling a 6.65 billion open interest. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME, the vice leader, entices a 1.15 billion open option, followed by OKX with 735 million and Binance at 520 million. On aggregate, the total call and put options for June 28 stand at 9.25 billion, which is considerable, but at the same time inflated by excessively bullish call options. The 0.51 put-to-call ratio indicates an imbalance between the 4.4 billion call option, or open interest, and the 2.25 billion put options. Nevertheless, if Bitcoin's price stays below 65,000 at 8 a.m. UTC on June 28th, only 440 million worth of these call options will take part in the expiry. Bitcoin bulls need 64,000 to avoid losses. Below are the four most likely scenarios based on the current trends. The availability of options contracts for calls and puts on June 28th varies depending on the settlement price. Between 57,000 and 60,000, there are 660 calls versus 14,850 puts. The net result favors the put sell options by 820 million. Between 60,000 and 62,000, there are 3,910 calls versus 11,140 puts. The net result favors the put sell options by 430 million. Between 62,000 and 64,000, there are 5,220 calls versus 8,690 puts. The net results favor the put sell options by 215 million. Between 64,000 and 66,000, there are 6,880 calls versus 6,940 puts. The outcome is approximately balanced between call and put options. This rough calculation assumes that call options are used primarily for bullish bets and put options for neutral to bearish positions. However, this simplification does not account for more intricate investment strategies, as in fact, how some would put millions and millions and millions of dollars on a position to go long, or they would put a call option out and then they would put that position out long, or they would put a sell option and they have a large position and they would sell that spot position, forcing the price to go down, and then they capitalize on the put option. That's how it works. Or short option, the short contract in crypto. In short, Bitcoin bulls desperately need to sustain the 60,000 support ahead of June 28th expiry to avoid a potential 820 million scenario, favoring the put options at the This article does not contain the yada yada yada. So that's very important information. I mean, if you're going to trade, you're going to want to know the real information. And I know the real information isn't the sexiest information, but in this case, it should be the most wanted information. Like you want to know this information. You want to know this information. And we've talked about our levels here, so let's now talk about some of the news that has to go into XRP here and some of the lack thereof buying interest. So XRP falls to key support at momentum falters. And please make sure to hit that like button. Please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. It would be greatly appreciated, or recommends this live. I got hammered by the lack of likes in my update this morning. Even though we still got about 900 views, the ratio of likes definitely, I didn't get recommended basically at all. It was basically just the audience who got to see it, which is a shame because it was a fantastic update this morning. So XRP falls to key support as momentum falters. According to a recent update from 100 Eyes Crypto Scanner, XRP, the controversial Ripple affiliated token, XRP has approached horizontal support at 47-cent level. The token is down 2.5% over the past 24 hours, underperforming other major cryptocurrencies in the top 10. Don't think these futures mature all the time. Why this week? That's when the options, that's the date of them. They don't all the time. But when you buy these, they has a set date when you buy the calls and puts. So through the ETF or however they purchase them, it has the dates on them. This is just where a majority of people stacked up. And you'll notice that if you call or put options in the stock market, you'll start to look through the data and then you'll start to align with the ones who are, there's more heavy bettors. Because then if something happens with the price action, you get the best bang for your dollar. Yes, Trading with J-Ride, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XB589 Moon Badge. And yes, hit that like button, please. I'm desperate. I desperately need your likes. It's our lifeline here on YouTube. Comments, likes, it's gold. It's like gold. Support and resistance are some of the key concepts frequently used by technical analysts. In this particular case, the chart indicates that some buyers are willing to purchase the token at the 47-cent level. However, it should be noted that a support level turns into resistance if there is growing bearish momentum. If this support level keeps getting tested by bears, it might eventually crack under the pressure of growing bearish momentum. The price of XRP token is down 13.5% over the past month, but it still boasts impressive gains on a year-to-date basis. Earlier today, EVI CEO Matthew Dixon predicted that XRP token would soon experience a bullish reversal. Technicals are screaming for a reversal higher, the analyst said, while pointing to the aforementioned 47-cent support level. Dixon suggested that dollar cost averaging around these levels would be a prudent strategy for traders and investors who are interested in the XRP token. We've talked many times over, and we'll talk many times again about the opportunity we have right now. If somebody's just coming in and you're trying to figure out what the hell is going on with Bitcoin and why did so many get sent from the U.S. government, I'm going to play this and let my voice rest for 3 minutes and 22 seconds. But this is a different article than I just read in the beginning, but I want everybody to be updated.
At $61,000 as US Gov sends 4K BTC to Coinbase. Bitcoin, BTC, price returned to $61,000 on June 26th as details emerged of an incoming BTC sale by the United States government. BTC/used 1 hour chart. Source, TradingView. Price contends with new state selling risk. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView showed BTC/USD struggling to hold the prior day's gains after the Wall Street Open. Uncertain BTC price behavior came as news spread of coins from a wallet known to belong to the U.S. establishment were sent to exchange Coinbase. According to data from crypto intelligence firm Arkham, the total involved was 3,940 BTC, $240 million. There's typically two options here. Popular trader Skew wrote in part of a reaction on X, formerly Twitter. OTC desks can auction off the BTC to clients, off-market buyers, open market auction, sold over time on the market. Bitcoin market data. Source, Skew/X. Skew subsequently said that the market reaction had been comparatively subdued. Some shorts opening expecting supply to hit the market, but other than that mostly longs closing out. He commented about the status quo on order books. The U.S. government wallet still contained more than 213,500 BTC, $13 billion, at the time of writing. The move joined a similar one by Germany, which the week prior transferred 6,500 BTC from its wallet. 900 BTC was sold on June 25th, Cointelegraph reported. The timing of the combined sell-off did not escape the attention of market observers, with Travis Kling, head of crypto hedge fund Ikigai, describing it as interesting. Source: Travis Kling. Why are multiple governments selling their BTC? Starting to look coordinated, crypto entrepreneur Vinny Linham added. William Clemente, co-founder of crypto research firm Reflexivity, suggested that large-scale distribution by Bitcoin whales in recent weeks could have occurred with the government moves in mind. My guess is a lot of recent selling over last few weeks was whales front-running these selling headlines and explains crypto's relative weakness to stocks, he told ex-subscribers. I hope I'm not speaking too soon, but if Germany/US/GOX are all selling/telegraphing selling, who's on the other end buying? Bitcoin ETFs break 7-day losing streak. A glance at the latest U.S. institutional flows showed June 25th finishing with a modest increase for the spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs. Related, Bitcoin price must end June above $56.5 thousand to defend uptrend, analysis. These managed to attract $31 million, marking the first aggregate day of inflows since June 12, per data from sources including United Kingdom-based investment firm Farside Investors. U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF net flows, screenshot. Source: Farside Investors. Popular trader Don Crypto Trades.
So, that's what's going on with Bitcoin right now. And as you heard, the U.S. government is the largest holder of Bitcoin. I mean, when you understand that, the largest holder of Bitcoin now is the U.S. government. They hold a staggering 213,546 Bitcoin, worth roughly $12.97 billion. And at the same time, and we talked about this last week, Russia is unloading Bitcoin, a staggering amount of Bitcoin as well. So, like, if you want to talk about collusion, manipulation, or if everybody wants to know why the price of Bitcoin got as high as it did, I think we've got our smoking guns here. We've got our smoking gun. Yes, we've heard about USDT, especially on Uphold being delisted, and it's going to be replaced by the RLUSD stablecoin from Ripple. So, a lot of stuff is absolutely going on right here, and shit is hitting the fan, so to say. In crypto, the more good information you get, the more stuff that more need to listen to. It's amazing how many people leave when it's the real information. It always blows my mind how many people just couldn't give a rat's ass about the real information. Then we wonder why we get steamrolled left and right. We need to have all of the information. These are the times you want to pay attention. But yet, these are the times that so many people just say the hell with it. And you know what? After so many times of getting punched in the face, so many times of having to deal with manipulation that is uncontrollable, I can understand why retail is just giving up. I can personally understand now, especially now seeing the U.S. government is clearly the largest holder of Bitcoin, seeing what's happening with some like Russia, the United States having a coordinated sell-off of Bitcoin starting on June 25th with Russia, and now today the United States are loading theirs into wallets to sell, or off of their wallets and onto the exchanges to sell. I mean, we better be prepared. Better be prepared here, because this could go ugly awfully quickly. Now, on the other hand, is there a reason why they're making this public knowledge? Because what I think is going to happen is now that they've got them uploaded on the exchanges, they're not looking to sell it at 60,900. Maybe it does come down to 58,000, garners a double bottom. They're looking for an overzealous rise up. They're not. If they were looking to sell it and they thought we were at a local top, they would have put it on the exchange at 73,000. This is strategically done after a 13,000 point retracement. And now where we could approach an oversold territory if we come back to 58. I mean, I could see a big springboard up. Maybe we do at that 77K or 80K area. And then you get one of the biggest sell-offs of all times. That is something that I am still thinking they want to do, because we're going into an election cycle. And you want to make all markets hot. You want all markets to be hot. And I think something a lot bigger than what meets the eye is going on here. It pains my heart a little bit to see so many people that have just lost interest. And I'm not just talking about in our community. I'm talking about in the crypto sector as a whole. In 2021, people were so excited. They were so optimistic. They thought that they had stumbled upon the greatest thing since literal sliced bread. And what they stumbled into was bread that was already moldy. And what I mean by that, it was already past its prime, just like all of crypto in 21 after the rally. Now what happens is you get into 24 in a time where it's right out in front of all of us. We see Bitcoin has hit a top. We see that it could have a very rapid sell-off, and it's in the midst of one of over 13,000 points. We've got XRP at 47 cents, and some of the cryptos that we all love some of them are at all-time lows already. I mean, you want to talk about Casper, way down there. H-Bar, way down there. DGB, way down there. VeChain and Zill, getting way down there for Zill. VeChain's getting there as well. XDC's down back around 3 cents. XLM's barely holding on to the 9-cent handle. XRP's holding on at 47 cents like the jockstrap holding on to a sweaty nut. Oh, excuse my French, but you get the picture here. So we're hanging on here for dear life, but not in a bad way. If we come down to these next support structures, the opportunity becomes greater. If these governments sell off Bitcoin like this, you know, it's pretty friggin' interesting what's going on. And Marie, I don't disagree with you. I could totally see them moving to a new all-time high and then dumping on the unexpected retail market as always, using us for top-side liquidity. It's very common practice. Very common practice. Unfortunate, but it's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. It's very common practice that retail is exit liquidity. As much as we want to act like we're not, that's all we are. So yeah. But I'm glad you have a sense of humor, E4 Rockin'. I'm glad you have a sense of humor. But, well, Tom, don't you think there's a lot of bullshit going on here? And why the hell do you keep me quiet? Well, Bob, I knew eventually you'd have to come back, but, you know, it's just one of those times here. It's a lot of those times, and unfortunately, you know what's happening here better than most, Bob. Well, Tom, I only knew because I got caught up in the big scam in 21 after everybody said it was going way up. We were going to double from all-time highs, and then I got sitting here with 65% down until I found your beautiful program. Well, I thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Anybody who doesn't know Bob, he comes around every once in a while when I go nuts. So, apparently I'm hitting that point right now. So, Bob is the every man and woman who just doesn't get it right. Just doesn't get it right, but they want to. They just buy into a lot of the FUD and fear and all that kind of stuff. So, sometimes you'll have to deal with him. So, now it comes to the point. It comes to the point. What do we do now? Right? What do we do now? The question is if it was you, would you wait for what seems to be the next impending drop? And it seems like we're waiting on pin nails right now. Look how the whole market has basically seized a move. I call this a freeze. We've essentially got a price lock. You see this, everybody? Does everybody see this? Honestly. Look at the price. Have you noticed nothing's moved since Bob started talking? They froze the market right now. Something big's about to happen. I'm sorry, but does anybody else see this? This doesn't happen often. Especially when I'm live. Does everybody see this? This isn't a joke. The market didn't lock up here. The trading bots are off for a second. There's no up. There's no down. These are price locks. Well, hi, Jan. See, Tom, I told you there's fans of mine here. Yes, I know, Bob. I do know there's fans of yours. Seriously, I do. Chill says, still longing for now, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Yes, sirree, Bob. That is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. Well, Tom, did you call for me? I heard Bob. No, Bob, it's a reference, Bob. I'm not calling for you. Thank you. Alan says, great live. Expect the unexpected. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, indeed. Bob does bring a little bit of emotion out. Notice that there's a lot more comments. Notice there's a lot more comments when Bob comes out because he breaks the ice a lot. But did anybody notice how the price stood? It basically stood still. It's still standing still for the most part. It's crazy. Curtis says I had to jump in to hit the like button. Bless you, my friend. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Marie says, I've bought all the massive fear dips. That's how you get ahead. Do opposite of retail fear monger sellers. Absolutely. So I said, are we prepared for the, if we do have this next drop, I'm going to be buying more. Make no mistake about it. I am very happy with what's going on right now. Well, Alan, I'm very blessed to see that you love me. I think Tom should give me more airtime. But I think he fears his audience is going to leave. But let's be honest. Nobody's coming back anyhow. No, Tom, don't take it the wrong way. Not to you, to crypto in general. I'm not saying you're a loser. I'm just saying that in crypto and with XRP, it makes it tough. Well, Bob, thanks for putting it that way. You hear that, guys? I'm not a loser. It's just my audience is drawing up. I got it. Got it, Bob. Thank you. I swear if I had like a little puppet, I used to have something that you could see somebody talking, but you know, gotta find Bob. So, basically the bottom line is, it does make it interesting. I think it makes it interesting. We drop, we long, we stay here, we long, we tight stops. Yes, sir, Chillis. That's especially when it's in the high times of volatility, the tight stop losses can be a savior. But look at this, folks. I mean, I'm not even joking. The prices are locked here. You don't see this very often across the board. You don't. Look at this. Last 4 minutes. Look what's been happening. Well, Tom, do I need to put my glasses on? Why are the prices not moving? Bob, we literally just talked about the price lock, okay? And the price freeze that takes place. But XRP Bob knows what he holds. Well, Alan, I do know what I hold. I used to be down 67%. But thanks to Tom, I got it back to even and then some. But, you know, I know what I hold. It's just, I seem to buy it every time and then it drops. Bob, I've told you this a million times. You have to buy it where you're comfortable and then set it in 10% or 20% increments to buy more. So if you buy it at 47 cents and you're comfortable, if it goes down 10%, you got to buy 10% more. So if you spend $1,000, every 10% down until you hit that 100% mark, which you're shit out of luck if you bought it that bad. You know, but in theory, you have 10 equal buy-ins. So, XRP Bob, funny name. But yeah, it does make it interesting with Bob. I'm telling you, he's the most unique man in crypto. He's getting a little up there in years, so sometimes he forgets. Well, Tom, I very much find that very offensive. You're over 40, you old man. How old are you, Bob? Well, Dom, that's not important. Just because I've hit my 60s, I'm a young man. Actually, Bob, you're right. I was thinking you're in your 70s with your ways. So I apologize. 60s are not old at all. Neither are 70s, actually. I think once you hit your 70s, you start to hit your mature years. And then it depends on how you took care of yourself through your first 65, 70 years. And then it'll tell you, you know, how far you live past your 70s. The 60s are definitely a trying year for some. But anyhow, it's good to have everybody involved. XRP, I mean, when I'm looking at this, I don't even know how long it's been stuck like this. But it makes it to where I'm like, man, this is very, very intriguing. Well, Tom, I noticed you didn't get any donations once again here this evening or any new members of Tom's Army. I'll bet you if you would have let me promote, you probably would have got at least one donation. How much worse could I have really done? You son of a bitch, Bob. I knew you were going to go there. He always goes there. Just like... I told you, Bob's the everyman in the audience that tries to rile me up. The everyman and woman. But he's more positive these days. Slipping in the old wisecrack, I see. But to me, it feels like... It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to me right now. Hey, I do have a Bob. He's a nutcracker. Wow, all the time, I swear to God, if you bring me back out with that thing, I told you, I don't like that. Oh, he's a classic. That guy's a classic. But yeah, nothing's really going to happen until the court case ends. We all know this. I agree with that, Tanya. I think we all have come to know and expect this now. Well, maybe not everybody. Some people are very optimistic. But some have talked about a possible settlement talk tomorrow. But I haven't really heard much about this. I don't know if somebody put a YouTube up here, a YouTube video or something, but I haven't seen anything that would make me think that tomorrow's anything of significance. Now, I mean, I know some of you, if you watched my video earlier, you heard about Dubai greenlights Ripple for global transfers despite SEC challenges. So that's a big thing. I didn't read this. Ripple versus SEC news. Ripple president clears the air on lawsuit in XRP ETF. So unless this is going back from before, we definitely need to pray for a good outcome. October to December should be the short season. It all depends on the way the market's gone in the prior year. Because you got a lot of people, for tax purposes, that if they're way up, they'll short it. But if they're way down, they will get rid of some of their other stuff that they're up on, and they'll let the other ones overhang. So it all depends. It all depends. Tanya is number one. I agree. I concur. So let's see what Monica Long said. So Ripple president Monica Long talked about key opportunities and challenges regarding Ripple versus the SEC lawsuit, payments, the RLUSD stablecoin, XRP ETF, and more. The status quo in the XRP lawsuit amid recent developments and clarity on XRP from courts turned Ripple president bullish on a potential XRP ETF. Monica Long, president of Ripple, said the company has come a long way after the district court's decision on XRP not as a security. Ruling against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, the clarity on XRP allowed Ripple to focus on other use cases and expansion. SEC has not slowed down its agenda against the crypto industry, challenging the growth of crypto, blockchain, and other related technologies in the United States despite stringent pressure. Long claimed Ripple has boosted payment infrastructure, XRP ledger and custody services through Medico. Various partnerships were announced in XRP ledger developments and custody services to banks and other financial institutions. The RLUSD stablecoin will bring additional advantage in Ripple business and entry in markets with less liquidity. The stablecoin will not compete with XRP, but help in growing its adoption driven by DeFi and institutional investors. Standard Custody, which was acquired by Ripple earlier this year, will manage the reserve for RLUSD. Ripple has infrastructure for real-world asset tokenization. Recently, Ripple and ArchX extended their existing collaboration to bring hundreds of millions of dollars of tokenized real-world assets on the XRP ledger. Wall Street giants such as, and that would be gold and silver, tokenized gold and silver. And then you could actually have those delivered to your house if you so chose, right through the ledger. JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs have moved towards the technology, and all this is expected after Q3. Monica Long remains on seeing issuers filing on XRP exchange-traded fund ETFs due to several positive factors. XRP and Bitcoin are the only crypto assets with clarity from the U.S. government. Ripple COO Stuart Alderodi stated that the SEC to put aside its demand for $2 billion in fines. He slammed the SEC for bad faith and clearly having issues with Ripple Labs' thriving business. Lawyers and former SEC officials anticipate the Securities and Exchange Commission may not file an appeal against Judge Therese' summary judgment. The crypto community awaits Judge Therese' verdict on penalties and final judgment in the remedies phase, which is likely to come in July. Meanwhile, XRP price continues to trade under 48 cents this week. With the price currently trading at 47.3 cents, the price failed to hold upside level amid the uncertainty and bearish sentiment. The 24-hour trading volume slumped 27% and indicates traders' lack of interest. And that's definitely a reversal here as the traders' buying pressure is turning. To me, it's turning bearish. We're feeling a little bearish. And for XRP, we've talked about it. If we stay under that 47.3 Here, and let's just look at this before I leave, because I got to get going here. My son's going to be doing his feeding and stuff. So I want to help Julie here. So 5 more minutes here, and then we'll end this. So make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this live. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you're looking to do any kind of trading, as you see me do, if you want to join me on my ventures, video description below, you've got BITUNIX, you've got copy trading abilities with HOTCOIN, and you've also got BLOFIN there as well. And we'll get into a lot more deeper stuff here when it comes to the exchanges as we go on. But today I felt like we needed to cover certain things, and I think we've gotten through all of our reading as well. If XRP can't get above 47.6 cents, we're very bearish. We're very bearish. And there's no reason to think otherwise. And the next dropping point would be down to this 46.4 cents. We don't need to sugarcoat it. We almost came down there earlier. But if we can't gain any momentum here and garner any buyers, we would not be able to push back up towards that 48 cent mark. And we'd find ourselves on the doorstep here of a much larger breakdown at around 46.4 cents. If this went all the way down, you could find yourself, if this were to break down on the cup and handle support, and that's all the way down here, this would be a third hit now, down at around 42.4 cents. So that is very much what could happen if we can't find any kind of stability. With Bitcoin, we're at 60,911. We were unable to hold a key support structure that I showed everybody yesterday at 61,600. That's become a moot point. So now we're kind of in no man's land. We're oversold in the daily. I would like to see an overzealous sell-off take place here. And if we find ourselves somewhere around 57,600 or even down to 56,800, I think there's a buying opportunity there, even in a short-term trade. But I think there could be a buying opportunity here, and I'm going to be looking at this for the copy trade because, like I said, all this stuff is catching up. The daily, the 4-hourly. Now the 4-hourly needs to push back in a bearish fashion, and I want to catch another rebound like we did on the drop before, and hopefully we can catch the next drop. That is where I usually will only do my futures trading after a volatile move. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in during this live. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of what I do here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join the over 22,140 plus subscribers. And consider joining Tom's Army. Get that emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. All the way out to the newly put out 3-year emoji badge, the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Or you could send one YouTube Super Chat per month as a way to pay it forward and show your appreciation if you so choose. No donations or new members tonight, which you don't get anything. Not every night will you get any kind of that kind of donations, but I have got donations in the value of comments, in the way of likes, in the way of some of your opinions. I've been able to talk to some of my friends here, and that really makes it worthwhile. I think we do something different here. It's not just me coming on showing how to trade. I really am trying to push a narrative. I'm trying to push it in a way where you can understand what you're doing. And overall, before you leave, if this doesn't play out in an inverse head and shoulders, that's a fake out, and it would play out in a M-topping reversal pattern. So don't get caught with your pants, or a Bart Simpson top with your pants down, and ride this wave all the way down. In fact, it happens. This is your key support structure. If we can't hold the key support, the chances are we could end up falling way back down, and even worse, way back down. So make an educated and informed decision. I hope that this information helps you. I hope it found you well. To all the beautiful people out here in the audience, I can't thank you enough for being a part of my audience. And thank you all so much for blessing me. If anybody hasn't hit that like button, let's see if we can get to 100 likes before we leave. That's 4 likes from now. If anybody's watching hasn't hit that like button and wants to help us push to 100, I would greatly appreciate it. It'd be a badge of honor to be over 100 because we didn't even get close to 100 viewers in this live. It'd be awesome to see. Unfortunately, it looks like we'll fall short here this evening, but thank you to everybody who's hit that like button. And if you're just tuning in, the news of note right now are 2 things. We've got the U.S. government getting approval to sell 3,940 of its Bitcoin, and as we know, they're the world's largest holder of Bitcoin at over $12 billion worth of Bitcoin and over 12,000 tokens held. And they sent that to a Coinbase exchange, so they have the approval from a U.S. judge to sell these 3,940 Bitcoin. And then we also know at the end of the week, we've got 9.25 billion in Bitcoin options expiring. So between those 2 things as a whole, this is a major catalyst, and this could bring some major downside pressure with it. So, but always expect the unexpected. Always expect the unexpected. So thank you all so much for the support. We have one more like. If there's one more like out there to get us to 100, but I have to get going, everybody. So if you made it until the end, hashtag be better, do better in the comments. And remember, we have the ability this evening. We have the ability to push kindness, to push love, and to have push and show the power of positivity over negativity. We do not play the victim here. We play the winner because we have all the information from a news and charting perspective, and we have each other. That's the bottom line. And thank you all as we got to 103 likes. I thank you all so much for hitting that like button on the way out, and I'll catch you on tomorrow's live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.